Welcome, Fae Fiends and Far Travelers. I'm here with my Wildemount Wanderers for Session 1 of our Plundered Fates campaign. Thanks for joining us as we explore this version of the continent of Wildemount. We are here with Ambrose. Do you want to start? Everybody introduce yourself and tell everyone what you're going to be playing tonight.
Hello. So Ambrose Azra, resident VTuber and shit poster. Tonight and for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be playing Tonya Stark, an armorer artificer. She is going to be wearing big suits of armor, going to be bashing the shit out of people and using various different means of violence. She's also a genius playgirl philanthropist. Just general fun stuff. I think she's going to be a fun, interesting character to play. Yes, I'm ripping off Tony Stark. Yes, I'm doing it blatantly. I don't care.
Tonight I'll be playing Cillian. He is a Harengon Ranger. Very, very happy-go-lucky, very in tune with nature. With his best friend, the little pseudo-dragon, Shy.
Hi guys, I'm going to play as Faevyre. I am a dark spin on the whole horny bard. I hope you guys enjoy the music that I'll be playing.
Hi everyone, I'll be Smooth for this campaign. I'm from Brazil and I have a funny accent. I'll be playing Reverend Dominic, an Order Domain cleric with inspirational undertones. So follow me for advice on success in this world and the next.
Hi everyone, I'm playing Melanee Baston. I am a halfling druid and I'll be hopefully making sure no one dies in session 1.
Gorgeous. We love to see it. So, welcome to Wildemount, everyone. The year is 980 post-divergence. The war has ended, but peace has not yet come. The lands of Wildemount groan beneath a storm of calamities, as if the gods themselves conspire against mortal. On the Menagerie coast, tempests slash the sea and drown the ports in unceasing fury. Trade falters, ships vanish, and the coastal folk whisper of an endless, storm-born curse. Within the Dwendalian Empire, fever and disease spread like wildfire, rotting towns from the inside as the crown struggles to keep its grip on order. Jorhas burns, the horizon lit red by strange, unquenchable fires that sweep through the barrens and scar even the hardened terrain. And to the frozen north, blizzards howl without mercy, swallowing roads, caravans, and whole villages beneath endless sheets of mud. Wildemount stands wounded. Old rivalries are forgotten for now in the face of greater terror, yet suspicion festers in the silence between nations. Some say there is no natural suffering, that darker hands steer the continent towards. In these uncertain days, heroes are not called, they are made. And whether by fate, coin, or desperation, your path begins here, as Wildemount trembles on the edge of a new age, one written not by kings or gods, but by those bold enough to seize it. Now, who might be bold enough to seize it? We find you all in Port Damali, within the stone walls of a waiting chamber beneath the Arena Eternal, Temple to Court. The room is small, cozy, but not claustrophobic, with a small brazier in the center of the room providing gentle warmth. The walls are lined with comfortable benches, upholstered in blue velvet. As you all wait here for the next step of the path to the God's Brawl, let's take a moment to meet each of you and remember how you got here. Let's start with you, Faevyre. Just over a week ago, the Regent's bedchamber is thick with the warmth of fading firelight and the faint perfume of last night's wine. The braziers burn low, casting long shadows across silk sheets tangled from restless sleep. Heavy curtains keep the dawn at bay, letting only a thin sliver of pale light spill across. Regent Runo reclines against the mounds of embroidered pillows, covers loose at his waist, his chest bare save for the thin chain of a medallion glinting in the fire's glow. in his dark inked tattoo. Though fatigue still clings to him, his smile is easy, softer than the one he wears before courtiers and crowd. The room feels hushed, as though the whole palace itself holds its breath. Only the gentle crackle of the hearth and the slow rhythm of the regent's breathing fills the silence as his eyes follow. Please take this moment to describe your character.
Faevyre is currently dressed in very light lingerie, just scantily clad, if you will. She is tall, about 5'11", wavy, long chestnut hair, and incredibly beautiful, unique sapphire blue eyes. She's a half elf and incredibly attractive. Just classically beautiful. Thick lips, high cheekbones, and she looks like she knows that she's beautiful. And she draws the eye wherever she goes.
Bruno takes a moment and leans towards you and says in a very quiet tone, his voice roughened from the night before, "You have a way of making even silence feel like music." He shifts, propping himself on one elbow, the medallion catching the light as he gestures lazily. "Come then, let's see what else your art can stir from these old bones. The gods know I could use a reason to forget the weight of the crown." I would like you to take this moment to show us a bit about your character through your performance.
Absolutely. So Faevyre is going to lean in close to him, almost grazing her lips against his, pausing, but looking directly into his eyes, and then moves away. Pick up her lute, and then she begins to play him a song.
In clover the quick little hare sang bright, from briar the snake kept watch at night. He whispered, "Rest by the willow with me, I will coil like a bracelet, gentle as can be." She listened to lantern green eyes in the dark, and love took root like a hush in the heart. Circles feel gentle at twilight, they tighten quiet and slow. Love sets a shimmer on water, deep currents tug below. Soft words can warm like summer, the briar still hides a thorn. They counted the fireflies over the stream, shared crumbs and songs and a drowsy dream. He learned the pulse that thrummed in her throat. She traced his scales like lines in a note. They dozed while the moon held the air, two hearts in a circle, warm and unaware. First kiss a hush, second kiss a dream, then the third was the bite without will. The willow bowed low by the hush of the stream. The meadow fell silent, the world went still. He was a snake and nature was king. Dawn carried silence where she used to sing. The circle drew tight at midnight. The river forgot its song. The willow kept what it witnessed. Old hunger was steady and strong. Love lit the grass for a heartbeat. The dark outlasted the glow.
Faevyre sighs deeply, kind of looking at him after she finishes to gauge his reaction to the song.
You see, as the final breath of your song fades silent, the Regent Runo exhales as if breaking free from a spell and begins to clap. "You undo me, Faevyre," he says in a low voice, edged with warmth. "For a moment, I had almost forgotten I'm Regent at all. And I would very much like to keep forgetting, if only a little longer," he says as he moves closer to you. "And I would like you to roll me an insight check to try and gauge the truth of his reaction."
Well,
With a 12, I think that he is as genuine as he usually is. You think that he does, in fact, enjoy every performance, every moment that he spends with you. He does truthfully feel at ease, more so than he ever does in front of a crowd. While the public views him as one of the best rulers of the Dwendalian Empire that they have had in many years, they view him as enormously proficient, kind, a strong ruler, all of those things. You have seen him in a completely different light than anyone else has. You have been able to see him at ease, and perhaps differently than any other client that you've had before.
Faevyre is going to pout at him, taking full advantage of her thick lips. And she's going to drape herself on him. "Oh, come now. The lands can cure themselves later. I need you more than they do."
I think I need a deception check for that one.
16.
16 is not bad at all. I think he gives a little chuckle and reaches up to twirl his finger through one of your curls. And he looks at you with a little spark of mischief in his eyes. And he says, "Ah, need me all to yourself, do you? Well, as it were, I am to travel to Port Damali to attend the Gods' Brawl. It is duty, yes, but it needn't be joyless. Come with me. Not as a performer, nor as a courtly ornament, but as a companion. Sit at my side in the storm of cheers. Share with me the road and the night beyond it."
I'll have to think about that. A wonderful adventure, dressed in fine clothes and perhaps some fine jewelry. Gazing at beaches and the ocean? She pretends to think for a moment and smiles at him. "It would be my absolute pleasure to do you this favor." She winks.
He chuckles and gives you like a gentle pat on your hip before scooting you to the side and rising to walk over to one of the dressing tables in his room, where he picks up a pouch, small embroidered leather pouch, the jingle of coin, as he sets it in your hand gently and says, "I believe you will need to go find some suitable traveling clothes. I have a small meeting that I must attend to in Hupperdoot. I will return in just a couple days, and we should be ready to set sail by air to Port Jamali when I return."
He gives him an exaggerated curtsy, in jest, of course. "Whatever you wish, my lord." But she just giggles playfully.
He does not kiss you, but he does cup the bottom of your chin in his hand and look deeply into your eyes for what is probably just slightly too long to be entirely comfortable for what you're used to, before letting like a soft breath out through his nose and turning to walk out the door, grabbing his traveling cloak as he exits.
Faevyre is gonna kind of look over at the pouch of coin and immediately, now that he's left, just kind of drops the mask and just stares at the coin. No expression on her face. And just sets it down, looking around the room for anything interesting before grabbing her clothing and getting dressed.
You have been probably too readily left alone in this room many times before. Would you like to we can go perception or investigation to see if there's anything new for you to find here?
Yeah, she will attempt to perceive. 18.
Okay, with an 18, I love that. You've been in here many times. You take a quick look around, just see, is there anything new that was not here the night before or the week before? And you catch a stack of papers on the dressing table where he had grabbed the pouch of coin from.
She curiously flips through the papers.
You see that Regent Runo has secured several seats aboard a airship headed to Port Damali in just a week's time. Many of the names you see written on these tickets, if you will, are not unfamiliar to you. They are his dressing maids, his Crown's Guard that usually accompany him when he goes to more public-facing places. But there are two tickets that you notice that maybe aren't out of place, but are not in his usual plans. You see a ticket with your name written on it, as well as a ticket that says Tonya Stark.
Oh, that one's coming along then. Interesting. And he had his ticket already ready for me. Even more interesting. He didn't know I would say yes. Or did he? She just kind of shrugs off that knowledge for a moment.
And from there, as you gather your belongings and get dressed, we will follow the flight to Upper Duke, just a few miles to the southwest of Rexentrum, to the echo of hammer and chisel that fills the courtyard, where stone and metal once meant for war now form the bones of aqueducts and bridges, where once a family's forges screamed with steel for swords and spears, today they sing with gentler industry, wheels, gears, and beams for public works that bind the kingdom together. Tonya Stark, please describe your family's workspace and your character.
So I'm going to say it is a large work area with various scraps and supplies and different prototypes kind of just strewn about. You can tell that there's pure chaos, but it is controlled chaos, I guess is how you would put it. If you ask Tonya, she knows where every individual nut and bolt in that area, that warehouse-looking large facility is, but to any untrained eye, they could not tell you a wrench from a blowtorch. Everything looks so scrambled. There are various projects in the works, some that look like they've been scrapped, some that are looking halfway done, some that are they look like they're complete products. But if you ask Tonya, they are still in the prototype phase. They still need to be better. They are not up to her standards. And a along the walls you can see various scrawlings for different designs, for different prototypes, various suits of armor strewn about, some in pieces, some fully assembled, looking almost as beautiful as if she had hand polished every single one of them. And then Tonya is just in there with her goggles of night vision on. She keeps them on pretty much perpetually because she sees taking them off as inefficient. Why take the time to take them off and put them on if she can just keep them on and be able to see all the time? Otherwise, she is just wrenching away on one project or another, bouncing from project to project, but all kind of seemingly encompassing her armor that she's working on.
Gorgeous. Here is when, among the workers and the scent of hot iron, that Regent Runo arrives. He's not dressed in the heavy robes of state, but in the travel cloak of deep blue, the seal of the crown stitched plainly at the breast. His face is lined with fatigue, but softened by a smile that is genuine, the kind that has made him beloved among his subjects. He approaches you, Tonya, and speaks in a professional but friendly tone. Your family has done more than you know. He gestures to an aqueduct arch that rises behind you. Where your father's steel once fed our wars, your hands now give us clean water. Where fire once forged only weapons, you've turned it toward life and hope. And for this, the crown is in your debt, and so am I.
Tonya turns to him and responds, "Oh, you owe me no debt. I'm simply repaying the blood that my family has spilled and caused to be spilled. I still have plenty of work to do to finish repaying that debt. So consider it a gesture of goodwill for the public, and don't take this the wrong way. However, I don't do these things for you or for the crown, but for the people that were displaced and affected by the weapons that my family created."
He cocks his head and studies you with appraising eyes. Understood. Nevertheless, I and the kingdom at large are appreciative of your effort either way, whether it is selfish, for the greater good, for the crown. None of these motives could dampen the good that you have done for our kingdom at large. He takes a moment and you see a little flicker of mischief in the corner of his smile as he clears his throat loudly and steps up onto a platform of stone blocks, his cloak brushing dust from their edges. As he does, the workers, craftsmen, and apprentices all fall silent, their tools lowered in deference to the man who has guided the realm through its hardest years. His voice rises, strong and steady, carrying across the courtyard. Friends! Once this house's forges rang only for war, their steel-armed kings and soldiers, their blades cut paths through battlefields. But look around you now. These hands have turned from blood to bread, from conquest to community. The iron of yesterday now strengthens bridges, brings water, builds homes. This family has shown us what it means to forge a kingdom worth living in. A cheer rises from the crowd, through throats calling out in pride. Bruno lifts his hand, quieting them gently, his gaze turning to you, Tonya. But a kingdom does not stand on stone and water. It must be defended in spirit as well as flesh. In 3 days' time, the Gods' Brawl will be held in Port Damali. Champions will rise to test themselves before Cord, and the favor of the Stormlord will fall on one bold enough to seize it. He sweeps his arm toward you. I ask you, Tonya Stark, to stand as our champion, not as a weapon of conquest, but as a symbol of what we have become and what we yet may be. Let your strength your craft, and your courage show all the coast that this kingdom has chosen a brighter path. The courtyard erupts in applause, some workers pounding hammers against anvils like drums of celebration before you even have a chance to accept or refuse. Bruno takes a slight step aside and invites you up beside him, his eyes meeting yours with quiet gravity, his words low enough for you alone to hear. Say yes, Tonya, and you will carry us all with you.
Tonya kind of smirks because she realizes that this is a ploy. There was no opportunity for her to say no. This wasn't a question or a request. This was a public appointment, if ever there were one. And she meets his gaze and silently walks over to a project that she has under cloth and grabs the cloth, quickly removes it, and it is a full set of mithril armor, and she starts donning it. Takes a second to don it, and as soon as she does, the armor whirs to life. The thunder gauntlets spewing steam as the entire contraption just feels like it's breathing. She turns to a concrete pillar beside her, rears back, and smashes it.
Make me an attack roll with advantage.
That's a natural 20.
As you crush this pillar into dust, the sounds of the workers around you, some who have known you since before you were even born, begin to scream. They are banging tools against metal scrap and different work tables. The ringing of the sound in this place is overwhelming. People in nearby workshops can hear the noise and the joy emanating from this place. Most of these people, like I said, you have known your whole life, and you see several faces in the crowd tearing up with pride and joy at watching you become the young woman that they always knew that you were, even before you knew it yourself. You see a horde of people willing to stand behind you no matter what you choose. And Regent Bruno gives a slight smile as he steps down from his place on this little stone and comes over and gives you a firm handshake, and he says, "It is an honor that you would agree to join me on this expedition and show the coast what kind of people we honor in this kingdom."
I want to take the moment and hold his hand in the handshake a little longer and lean in and ask him, so did one of your spies tell you about this secret project? Or did you just know that I am my father's daughter and would have something that I'm working on, if not for the kingdom, then at least for myself?
He leans in, almost brushing his lips against your ears, and says, "Tonya, I have no spies. I have nothing but complete faith in who you are. I had no idea you had any works aside from the ones you grant the honor to our kingdom to implement in our aqueducts, our bridges."
I take his hand and I shake it one more time very firmly, and I stand back up straight, and I say, I suppose I'll have to take your word for it. Or take you for your word.
We will leave this scene following the shape of a skyship sailing from Hupperdute to Rexentrum, and then Rexentrum to Port Damali. We will head to the beaded alley where there sits a cozy little inn called the Dancing Lantern. Its entrance is marked by a swinging lantern painted in swirling reds and gold. Inside, the air is warm with the scent of spiced meats and sweet pastries from the kitchen, mingling with the faint tang of the nearby sea. Lanterns of all shapes and colors hang from the ceiling, swaying gently as if performing a quiet dance for the guests below. The common room is alive with chatter, laughter, and the occasional tune from a wandering performer, a purple tiefling with gold-capped horns and draped in flowing silks. Travelers linger over the tankards of local brews. Traders haggle quietly in corners, and the innkeeper moves with effortless charm, ensuring every visitor feels like part of the alley's vibrant rhythm. Up a narrow staircase set off to the side is where we find Melanee, on the night before the day of Challenging Festival, reading a familiar passage from a book. Please describe your resting place and your character in this moment.
Melanee is a reasonably tall halfling. She's 3'1", with look brown hair that's very good back, just to keep it out of her face. She's just dressed simply in some comfortable breeches and a tunic, just dressed to the side. She's in a simple inn room, just laying on the bed with the book open, just going over her notes.
Would you mind, Melanee, reading us the passage that you're going over in your book? The one that you have most recently been able to translate from Elven?
We crossed into the Viddersveld between the shrouded moon, seeking haven where the old song said the roots still whispered. But the forest was not ours. The green gave birth to hunted, strange and merciless creatures that unmade the gifts of dawn, but with but a breath. Our walls collapsed, our rights turned hollow, and in the silence of barn doing, we fled into shadow. Yet before we departed, we carved memory into flesh and hide, lest the circle be forgotten in the choking dark. If you bear the scars crown, know this: they are a map of what remains, and the beasts that stalk the canopy, yet guard the shape of our passing. Follow the path is perilous, or through our terror of Viddersveld lies the next route of the circle.
You only have about 300 more miles to reach the forest. You can make it there in just 5 days. But now the sun has set, and you feel your eyes growing heavy as the words begin to blur on the page as you drift off to sleep, the book tucked under you. You wake, or think you wake, beneath a canopy so dense it swallows the stars. The air is wet, heavy, and every breath tastes of moss and rot. Shapes move at the edge of your vision, too far to see clearly, yet too close to ignore. Silhouettes in the mist, tall, robed, some with antlers woven into their hair. Voices raised in chants that you should recognize, but every word slips from your grasp. The sound bends, twists, as if the forest itself refuses to hold their song. Every now and then, a flash of movement, too fast, too fluid, and the air shivers around you. A sound arises, a low, echoing chorus of rustling leaves, cracking twig, and muted whispers that could almost be speech. It coils around your mind, tugging at something buried. Pain flares along your back like fire tracing shapes beneath your skin, the old scars burning in rhythm with the forest's pulse. The blurry figures freeze and turn towards you. They cannot see your eyes, but you feel their focus. Before you even realize it, you begin to transform, wild shaping into something new. A huge, hulking beast, bipedal, with elongated arms that reach to the ground. Green and lavender fur covers your skin, and you feel sharp, fanged teeth fill your mouth with blood. The figures begin to scatter, pulled into the fog. The last thing you hear before the forest swallows them is a whisper, half a breath, half a plea. Remember us. And then silence. You wake, truly, to reality as the sound of the festivities in the city fill the air. A gentle knock at your door alerts you to the arrival of Roxanne, the purple tiefling performing downstairs last night, who you have been traveling from Nicodranus with. Good morning, Melanee?
Yes, I'm here.
She very carefully, giving plenty of space for you to stop her, begins to swing the door open before stepping inside. I heard you screaming a second ago. Is everything okay?
Yes, everything is okay. Just give me a minute. And she'll just quickly reach to get her tunic on and just make sure she's dressed. Just racing out of bed.
As you do this, can I have you roll me a quick perception check?
22.
It is less about something you notice and more something you don't notice. As you scramble out of bed, throwing the sheets off of you, nothing hits the floor, nothing hits the wall. The weight of the sheet is almost too light, and you feel just a tug in the back of your mind that something's missing.
She immediately starts looking around, seeing what's not there.
You can't find your book.
She immediately panics, starts ripping through her bag, starts looking under the bed.
Melanee? Is everything okay?
No, I can't find it. I can't find it. Where is it?
Okay, I'm gonna come in. And she just opens the door and walks in, and she's like, okay, so you were just screaming and now like you seem really panicked. What can I do? What's going on?
My book, it's not here. I had it with me last night. I was reading it when I went to sleep.
Well, if you did you go anywhere last night? I didn't see you, like, after you came upstairs. I didn't see you come back down at all. You haven't been anywhere but the room?
No, I was just reading over a passage. I don't know where it is.
Okay, well, if you haven't been anywhere else, then it couldn't have gone far. Let's just take a minute, take a breath. And she is gonna give you help on an investigation check. 23 total. You guys tear apart the room. You take every sheet off of the bed, remove every pillowcase, empty every drawer, dump out your entire bag into the middle of the floor, and it is nowhere here. With a 23, you've checked the lock on the window. There is no chance that anybody could have come in or out from the window. You reconfirm that the door was locked before Roxanne entered. So there's no way anybody came in or out of the door. There is not a single place in this room where your book exists. It is not in the sheets. It's not under the mattress. It's not tucked under a floorboard somehow. You didn't accidentally put it in the wrong pouch of your bag. There is every possibility ruled out in your mind. And as you begin to come to this conclusion, you have checked every box and every box is coming up. Nothing. Roxanne takes a second and kind of steps back. Well, I mean, honestly, I don't know where your book could have gone, Melanee. I'm so sorry. I know how important it was to you. You read it like every second of every day on the way up here. I don't know how else I can help, but hey, so I'm gonna sign up for the Gods Brawl. Maybe that could be helpful. If you want to sign up too, then like maybe we'll even end up on the same team. And I know that if you win the Gods Brawl, you can kind of ask Cord for like whatever you want, pretty much. And I know that it's been kind of like weird with the gods lately, but from what everybody was saying, like last year even, the God's Brawl, like the boon from Cord worked fine. So maybe we can ask, like, I mean, if we can't find it, surely a god can, right?
Yeah, well, hopefully, I mean, I can't go anywhere until it's found, so maybe, yeah, that would work, hopefully.
Okay, like, yeah, I mean, and it'll be so much fun too, right? So we could end up on the same team, and that would be really cool. Like, I've had a lot of fun hanging out with you on our travels up here, and I just think that it would be a really good bonding. And as she's saying this, a tiny little plap 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 of some webbed feet sound in the hall behind her, and you hear a little as coming in the door is a teeny tiny penguin in a top hat and a bow tie, and he waddles up over to you and like does that lean against your leg like a comfort.
He immediately does head scratches.
And he does like a little circle around your feet. And she's like, there's no reason to get too worked up about this. I'm sure we can find your book. Why don't I go run downstairs and I'll check with the innkeeper and see, like, maybe someone said something, or maybe like if it got dropped. I mean, you said you had it last night. I don't know. I'll just check, okay? You keep Gunter. He'll stay here with you and keep you company. And I'll go check with them and see if we can't figure something out. And then if they don't have any answers, we'll go head over and sign up for the God's Brawl. Okay?
Yeah, thank you. Here's hoping, I guess.
And as Roxanne exits your room, we will slide across town to the Crescents. In the Crescents in Port Damali, we see, in the dead of night, a flicker of lamplight coming through a window, gliding along the spines of books and the edges of parchment with a faint golden glow. Outside, Port Damali hums faintly even at this hour, but within these walls, it is quiet. Reverend Dominic, will you describe your study and your character, please?
All right. Reverend Dominic is a human. He's just under his 30s and 5'9" tall. Dominic cuts a striking figure in his immaculate white clothes, every fold crisp, every button perfectly aligned beneath his spotless white plate armor. The faint scent of incense clinging to the fabric, the gear-shaped holy symbol of goddess Erathis hanging from a necklace. His neatly filed nails fidget occasionally with a star-shaped crystal half medallion strapped around his wrist. His dark hair is neatly parted, revealing an early white streak. His sharp blue eyes gleam with a strange intensity, warmth when he wishes it, calculation when he does not. His presence is one of cultivated order, a man who seems to embody discipline and piety. But does he, though? Orderly day, everyone. Just my standard greeting.
As you sit in your study, you hear a soft knock at your door as Emmeline pokes her head in with a teasing grin on her face. Someone's here to see you.
Is that someone new?
She gives a little giggle and she says, "Nope," and throws the door open and then runs down the hallway. As the door opens, you see a figure begin to enter. The scent of sea salt and lilac enters with her before she does. This is the Marquise Vivienne Visor. She is a slender, older woman with her white hair neatly piled on top of her head. She is draped in silks that whisper across the floor as she steps inside, unannounced but entirely expected. A half smile curves on her lips as though she knows it, and as though she has always belonged here. You work too late, Dominic, she says in a low voice, almost conspiratorial, as she moves past you without waiting for permission. She brushes her fingers along the back of your chair as she passes, and then comes to rest against the window where the moonlight paints her in pale silver. Her eyes flick towards your desk as the papers splayed with careful notes of sermons and speeches. Always so devout, so careful, but even the gods look kindly on those who act boldly. Have you thought of entering the gods' Brawl? You of all men could win the Stormlord's favor. Imagine the weight it would give your words, your cause.
Orderly evening, Highness. You may have a point. Think of how many people I could inspire into being the best version of themselves. You may have a point. Would you like me to do it?
I'm simply making a suggestion. I would love to see you in the ring.
Would you then?
Of course I would. A man of your stature, your strength, your moral compass. Who better to win Hord's favor?
Everything you say is correct, and your praise is my privilege. Absolutely. Count me in. Doubt is just success being shy. I think I wrote this in one of my course sermons.
I believe I recall those words as she gently touches her chest. Ah, a holy man stepping into the arena. The whispers would never end. She leans into you slightly, lowering her voice. But then, you and I both know how to live with whispers, don't we? And she gives you a wink.
Absolutely. If we are to whisper, is there anything you'd like to confess tonight?
I believe I would prefer to leave our confessions to other nights. Tonight, simply gauging an interest. That's all from me.
At your service as usual.
As you say that, she straightens up as if nothing has been said at all. And she says, well, she begins to move towards the door. I should hate to see Port Jamali's most compelling voice left unheard. And with that, she exits the door, leaving only the scent of lilac and salt and the weight of your decision in her wake. Do you do anything in this moment after she leaves?
Does Ameline show up for some follow-up or gossip?
Not yet.
Then chop chop, I have to finish this sermon. I have to finish this next chapter. Let's go back to work.
After 30 seconds of you beginning to write again, the door gets pushed open with a annoyed sigh. I couldn't hear anything.
Well, now that's a surprise.
I have told you countless times that you need to speak up.
Yeah, sorry, sister. But don't worry, I can recap all the contents to you if you need to. I'm joining this competition. Representing, motivational sermon, courage, the will to succeed, and inspiring the people. You know me.
She narrows her eyes at you as if she is skeptical of the truth behind your words. And she flops down on a nearby piece of furniture and just kind of laces her fingers under her chin and leans in. You're sure that's all that was? She had some awfully expensive perfume for just a discussion about an event.
You do have a point. Do you think something else could have happened? That would be an interesting story. I sit next to her like we're knitting together.
She shrugs and does one of those like hand waves. I don't know, it could be quite scandalous if it was anything else.
A scandal for an aristocrat. Now that would be most embarrassing.
I believe it would. So please tell me, it was simply just an offer to join the Gods Brawl? She gives a little pout.
Of course it was. Which doesn't mean people don't talk.
She gives you like a little wink and squeezes your hand. And she goes, of course, of course. That's all it ever was. And she like scurries out of the room to do what you know that she does best.
Oh well. Walk straight, sister.
We will head from there down the coast to Port Zune. In the Plum Grove, it is a hushed night. The city's noise fades beyond its borders, leaving only the whisper of leaves in the wind and the faint rustle of fruit-heavy branches. Moonlight filters through the canopy of blossoms, casting dappled silver across the grass. The air is rich with the perfume of ripening plums, sweet, grounding, almost otherworldly. Cillian, please describe your character in this moment. We are roughly a week prior to the Gods Brawl.
Out in the plum groves, Cillian would most likely be sitting around a small hunter's camp. Simple wooden building with 2 beds. You would see him sitting on a log next to the fire. Dark green cloak pulled up over his head, and out the top of the cloak you see 2 reddish brown ears poking up. His rabbit-like face and eyes glinting in the fire as he slowly scratches the scales behind a small bluish colored drake with strange insectoid wings, almost butterfly-like, as she lounges in his lap. A dawn across the fire from him as they take in the smells and the sounds of the night.
You and Adon sit together by this fire, and you see as he watches the branches of a nearby tree sway, his expression soft and quiet. You feel it, don't you? Even here where the world slows down, you're restless. You're searching. His gaze drops back to you, warm and steady. This isn't your home. Not the grove, not the city, none of it.
Cillian's ears kind of droop and pin back slightly. I understand what you're saying. It's quiet here, it's peaceful, but you're right, it's not home. But now, I don't know where else could be home.
Don't misunderstand me, Cillian. You are always more than welcome here. I love sharing the space with you, but I can see it in the twitch of your foot, the twitch of your ear. This isn't where you're meant to be, and maybe there is a way to find it, to know where you're meant to be.
His ears kind of perk up slightly at that.
He gestures towards the city beyond the grove. North, up the shore, in Port Damali, you've heard the Gods Brawl.
Only that you yourself were part of it at one point.
He gives like a shy chuckle about that. I fought in the Gods Brawl. I won my answers. Maybe the Stormlord will know where you're from, where you belong. If anyone does, it would be him.
Suppose I could use a boon for that. Of course, I could also use it to try to find out more about Shay.
He gives like a little smile and says, I have a feeling you and Shy are one and the same. I feel if you find out about yourself, you will find out about Shy. Hearing their name so many times, you see Shy poke their little head up. Like give a little like a little puppy dog face where they tilt their head and look at you.
Reach down and scratch the scales under her chin. You might be right, Adon. How long do you think it'll take to get from here to Port Melanee?
With the way you move, less than a week, surely. I think you would arrive just in time.
Well, I suppose I should leave it first light then, eh?
He gives like a big smile and heads over to his pack where he pulls out a very special bottle. One that you have known him to carry unopened for as long as you have known him. He holds it in his hands and brushes a thumb across the label, closes his eyes for a moment, pulls out 2 mugs from his pack, hands one to you, and begins to pour a glass for each of you before corking it and sliding it into your pack. I have every faith that you will succeed, Cillian. I have known you, and if I could go with you, I would. But I want you to go, and I want you to fight. Not for the crowd, not for glory. I want you to fight for answers. I want you to fight for your home. And I know you will find it. I know you will find it there. And you see a little bit of tears well up in his eyes. And I would like you to make a perception check.
12.
With a 12, you notice Shy does something, does like a little movement, goes somewhere behind your back, and then goes and lays back down, but it's maybe just getting comfortable.
Okay. Tonya will swirl the glass around a little bit, staring into the liquid. Take a small step. Alright, Tom. I'll do it. And don't you worry. I'm gonna bring that bottle back to you when I win, and we're gonna have another drink.
I know we will. As you guys drink through the night, is there anything else that you would like to do?
Pack is probably already mostly packed, if we're out here on a hunting trip. Yeah, I'd say probably another hour or so drinking and talking with the Don. Maybe a little bit of fiddle playing before we cast off to sleep.
Gorgeous. In the morning, you awake at your site, Shy nudging you and trying to get you to wake up.
I'm up. What, Shay? What?
She hurries over and sits on Adon's bedroll, which is empty.
Crafty old bastard. Does it look like it was used that night? And that it's just been put up and like he left early, or?
It does not look like it was used, but there is a note left on the pillow.
Okay. I'll pick that up and give it a read.
You break the seal on the note, unfold it, and find a blank page.
I'll give it a quick sniff. Does it smell like lemons?
Smell like lemons. I'm assuming you're looking for invisible ink, so I'm gonna have you give me a perception check.
17.
With a 17, it smells like ink, It smells like the brandy you drank the night before. It smells... It smells like memory.
Nothing else odd about it. It's just a blank piece of paper that was sealed and has those smells. Okay.
I think at this moment, you begin to wonder. Take a look. There are no traps. There are no... You're looking for any familiar clues as to what could have happened. And I think you said you're smelling the paper, but I think you catch in the air a smell of a fruit that you have not encountered in your time here. Or maybe have never encountered at all to your memory. There's something in the air, not on this letter, that gives you a pang of, like, the feeling of before you were ever even in Darktoe.
Cautiously, gonna poke my head out the tent, or not the tent, the small, like, cabin. Take another sniff. Do I see anything around the camp?
Nothing unusual. It's almost as if he was never here.
What's next? A pack.
The only evidence is the bottle, the empty cup, and the bedroll.
Oh, I knew you were good, but I didn't think it was this good. I don't. Well, nothing to do for it now, I suppose. I'll tuck the piece of paper inside of my backpack and scoop Shy up, set her on my shoulder, and head out into the plum groves.
As Shy is sat on your shoulder, she starts making this little noise, as if blowing a puff of smoke from her mouth. And you head going north towards Port Damali, which is where we return to find all of you sat in this small stone room. And we are going to take this opportunity, since we have met all of your characters, to take a quick little 10-minute break. We will be right back.
My poor life's now destroyed. Nothing will fill this void. Now she haunts me. Cursed banshee, never the same.
Hello, everybody. We are back, and we are in the waiting chamber beneath the Temple of Cord, the Arena Eternal, in Port Damali with our Wildemount Wanderers, who are mostly meeting for the first time, with a few exceptions. The 5 of you sit in this room, all having been chosen by Cord himself to participate in the Gods Brawl. You have all been put, assuming, on the same team and brought down here to await the next steps. The floor is yours.
Orderly day, everyone.
Hello.
Favor's going to very elegantly curtsy at everyone, but then kind of grin over at Tonya, showing familiarity. Well, this isn't exactly what I had in mind for vacation, but pleasure to meet you. My name is Faevyre.
Tanya's going to smirk back and then look back toward the group and be like, pleasure is yours, Tonya Stark, the one and only.
Cillian lets out a little, like, half snort at that. He's kind of tucked back, like, as far into the corner of the little couch as he can. And he's got Shy in his arms, and he's just petting away at the top of her head. His ears are just twitching back and forth as he's paying attention.
Melanie's just gonna turn to look at Shy and go, oh my goodness, he's so cute. Hi, I'm Melanee, by the way. Hi. And just Farah's only on shy.
Hi, Cillian. This is Shy. She's a she, actually, but
Sorry, she's so cute.
that's fine. Would you like to better?
Oh, yes, I'd love to, if I may. And just cautiously reaches out the hand in front of her face and goes to pet.
Yeah, she's all about it. Little chirps, little coos, just kind of stretching her chin out.
Tanya's kind of gonna cock her head like, I've never seen a Drake act like a dog. Is that normal? And then kind of just look over to Ayun, my little homunculus. It's technically a homunculus, but it's a little robotic owl.
Well, she's not exactly a Drake. Never actually been quite sure what she is. She's closest, I think, to either a Drake or a pseudo dragon. But yeah, she's always been a little odd, kind of like yours truly.
Now, isn't this some precious team building? This is the keys to success. If we are playing as a team, then that's what we need right now. To introduce each other and make connections. Absolutely. How about we run a round of introductions?
Well, I'm Cillian. This is Shy. I'm pretty good hand with a bow and arrow.
Very good to know. Is she good with the bow and arrow too? What's it?
No, but she can spark you up pretty good. You see a little bit of like electricity kind of crackling around her teeth as she gives like a little like play growl.
Ooh, don't want to stick my finger in there, do I? Excellent. What about you, adorable halfling?
And Melanee, I kind of more specialize in the healing matters of things, so I can really help out with support needed.
Always good to have someone having our backs. And what about yourself, gleaming presence of a person? And I'll talk to Faevyre.
Favor's gonna just kind of give him a puzzled look and kind of elbow Tonya. Get a load of this one here. Yes, hello. Hello, are you okay, sir? I already introduced myself, but do we perhaps have memory problems?
What about your team skills? If we're going to play the game together, what talents do you bring to the table?
Listening skills. More than you, apparently.
Ah, that's a great insight. That's a great insight.
She slaps the lute that is very clearly on her back. I play music. It's pretty. She kind of rolls her eyes, glancing over at Tonya.
Tanya's just kind of standing there with her arms crossed, just smirking at the performance Faevyre is giving. They're clearly amused.
At this moment, there is a brief knock at the door before it opens, and a older elven woman with long white hair that flows down past her shoulders in light waves enters the room. She is wearing some light blue, like clerical robes with lightning embroidery along the edges. You, Reverend Dominic, would recognize her as being one of the like mid-tier acolytes of the Temple of Cord. I don't know that you've met her personally before, but based on her dress, you at least would recognize her status here. And she speaks very gently to you all. Welcome, everybody. It is my honor to introduce you to the God's Brawl this year. It is very exciting to hear that all of you were chosen. You will be our first team. For anybody unfamiliar, it looks like a couple of you at least are from out of town, directly eyeing Cillian. If anybody is unclear, just feel free to ask questions. I am more than happy to explain anything. To start us off, the God's Brawl is our annual event in honor of Cord. He has graced us over centuries with rewards for the competitors of these events. Boons of many different kinds. To start off, you will be on a team. You're team 1. There's another team that will be team 2. The 2 groups will enter the arena, brand new, every year, and battle. Of course, not to the death. We do have many safety measures in place. Several clerics on the sidelines that will make sure that you don't die. No worries. Maybe just a little brush with death, but with, plenty of ability to revive you should that happen. So no worries there. Everybody is perfectly safe. Once one team prevails, we will transition to the solo battle, which will be every being for themselves. And the last person standing will win the honor of a boon from Cord himself. This boon can take any form that you can think to ask. You'll meet with the Chantress in private, so don't feel any pressure to impart what you would wish to ask for. And the Chantress will do anything in her ability to provide sufficient compensation for what you request, be it political or religious or otherwise. She has many tricks at her disposal. She is our longest standing vessel of Cord, so she is quite capable, I assure you. In these battles, we do just another safety measure that we do have in place. I see some of you use aerial weaponry. Above the arena, there is a sort of invisible dome. You might not see it right away. Some people do, some people don't. Perfectly normal. But there is a threshold that will prevent any magical or non-magical munitions from escaping. So no need to worry about firing into the crowd. Everybody is perfectly safe, I can assure you. Do any of you have any questions for me?
Are there any other rules of engagement we should be aware of?
In what regard?
In terms of when things begin, in terms of our conduct towards the opponents, or is everything free for grabs?
Most people, I would say, tend to focus on the teamwork aspect first and then later transition to the free-for-all aspect of the battle. But we have had people in the past who have taken a new meaning to friendly fire, if you will. Does that answer your question?
Fantastic. Some teamwork.
Yes, of course, because while it can seem beneficial to sort of soften up the people on your own team, it is important to keep in mind that should you soften them too much, the opposing team will be the one left standing for the free-for-all. Of course.
I wouldn't dream of it.
I'm going to kind of lean forward, and Tonya's going to ask, what are the rules around surrendering? If a member of the enemy team were to surrender, are they, from that point, removed from the fighting? I just need to know if someone does choose to surrender, do I stand down, or do I make sure they aren't able to get back up?
Yes. So there have been cases in the past where people have employed the tactic of begging for mercy and then later revoking that need for mercy by continuing to attack the other opponents. If such a case were to arise, I ask that you use your best judgment in these cases. We do not have any steps to intervene in something like that. If someone wishes to put on a show, as it were, and then later gain some advantage in the combat, that is perfectly within your rights to do so. We do not intervene until someone has come to the point of unconsciousness, and in such a time, we will send some members of the clergy out to extract that unconscious member of the battle and get them back in tip-top shape. Prior to unconsciousness, we don't intervene, and we do ask that please do not attack the clergy coming out to assist the unconscious members.
Right, don't punch the ref.
Precisely.
Was there a bigger prize if one of us is dead?
Excuse me?
Well, if there's less of us, is there more of a prize to go around?
So only one person will receive the boon from Cord, which is the greatest prize anybody could offer. Truly, the act of a god is truly what prize could be better than the act of a god. But in order to earn that boon, yes, you will have to be the last person on your team standing.
Just gonna glance at everyone in the room. Eyes settling on Dominic over there. Or she's just going to nod.
Teamwork.
Tonya's gonna look over at Faevyre and just kind of at least wait until after the team round.
She smirks and shrugs.
If you all feel adequately prepared by me, the last information that I have to impart to you is that we will be reconvening here at First Light tomorrow to begin the immediate preparations for the Brawl. So, as it were, you are free to enjoy the festivities in the city. There are plenty of games and whatnot, competitions in honor of Cord. As it were, feel free to participate in any of those, as well as take any steps that you need to prepare for tomorrow morning. In honor of Cord, we do keep a pretty adequately stocked weaponry, armory section in the northmost part of the temple. Feel free to peruse there. We please just ask that you leave a donation in exchange for any provisions you would acquire from there. But those are at your disposal as well, should you need any additional armament and whatnot, as well as the many shops around the city to gain any sort of scrolls, potions, other provisions, munitions, things like that you would like to bring over to the Brawl tomorrow.
Can I ask a last quick question?
Yes, of course, always.
What about our opponents? I mean, do we know anything about them? Are we going to be introduced? Just to pay them our respects, in fair play.
Oh, of course, yes. So currently the other team is in the adjacent waiting room speaking with another member of the clergy. As soon as they are prepared, I'm sure you'll see them around. If you would like some names, just in case you don't catch them while you're still here in the temple, we have competing on the other team. She pulls like a little notepad out of her pocket and begins to read off. We have Roxanne Stardust, Cobel Rockshell, Expositor Alluvia of the Cobalt Soul, a young man, Nisht Desen, I believe is how that is pronounced, and then a one Fendant Fish.
Fish is his last name, or is he a fish, or both?
Bish with a B.
Ah, okay.
Excellent. That will make for some interesting competition. Thank you.
Yes, of course. And should you need anything else, I will be around the temple, not terribly far, doing my duties should you need me in preparation for the battle tomorrow. Is there anything else that I can do for you now?
I feel glorious. Thank you.
I'm good, thank you.
Tonya's just gonna nod, like, I'm good.
Faevyre shrugs, looking bored.
Well, I mean, if you could point me towards a Fletcher, I might want to pick up a few more arrows before tomorrow.
Yes, gorgeous. So we do have a plethora of various arrows available to the north in the armament section of the temple, as well as Filch's Fletchers, which is over in the Larboard Light District. I've heard some pretty good words about them for their ability to create arrows.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yes, of course. And I look forward to watching all of you compete. And of course, I'm not supposed to play favorites, but I do hope that one of you wins. I will take my leave now, and I do wish to just say, may the courage of Cord guide you in the times to come. And she gives like a very curt bow before exiting the room and going about her business.
Friends and associates, if I may, perhaps gathering information about the other team wouldn't hurt. What do you guys feel about a little scouting?
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Tonya's gonna look over Faevyre and just, that's more your department.
Did overlay a lot of things with ears this big.
So which ones of us could perhaps have a little peek at the other team while unnoticed?
I kind of gesture to my armor, like, I'm wearing this big chunky plate, like, I'm gonna be noticed.
I can just go in there and completely speak to them. I don't need to go under any false pretense. I can just ask them. What do you want to know?
Now that's even better. We want to know about their skills, their powers, their weaknesses. You know, all fair game. You do come across like someone who could squeeze that information out of them.
She smiles, smiling. I have my ways, that's for certain. So Faevyre's gonna get up then. And if I do this for you all, as you will all benefit for this information, what's in it for me? I don't even know you. Well, besides one of us, of course. She glances back at Tonya.
Tonya's just kind of gonna, like, roll her eyes and look back at Faevyre and say, don't forget that this benefits you too. This information only serves to make the battle easier for you as well. Though, if you need compensation, I suppose I could be convinced to take you to a tavern later for a few drinks.
I more am interested in guaranteeing that I make it to the final round. And with your help at all. I mean, you with your armor. I'm assuming this one, she glances over at the priest, has something useful there, though at this point I can't for the life of me figure that out. But the both of you over there look quite capable with your little companion there, but those sets of arrows. I just would like some protection is all. That's all I really have are my words.
So was my protection not enough for you now?
She kind of boops you on the nose. Oh, are you getting jealous? You know you're my favorite. I just want to be sure that they'll see that I'm a very helpful companion and will also help me.
Absolutely. Teamwork means we win as a team or we win as a team.
I'll do what I can, but everything happens as it happens.
Don't look at me. I'm gonna be hiding behind the walking tower shield over there.
She sighs. All right, I suppose that's good enough. And she's gonna start making her way out to seek out the, I guess the meeting room of the other team.
Okay, so Faevyre, you're gonna head over to suss out the other team. What is everybody else doing?
I'm gonna nudge Shy and send her after Faevyre.
I'm gonna send my homunculus after Faevyre as well, just to keep an eye on her telepathic link and all.
Where are you heading off to, Cillian?
I'm gonna stick nearby, but if Favor's going directly to the other room, I'm gonna try to stay like the opposite side of the hallway.
Tonya, Melanee, Reverend, where are you guys going?
I am going to talk to other priests from Bled try to hear about previous competitions, about the profiles of people who won, win strategies, losing strategies, just overall from the conversation.
I think Tonya is just going to kind of hang out and tinker, wait for Faevyre to get back.
Nell's gonna probably go and see if she can find her friend, see if there's been any news on her book, if it's turned up anywhere. And if not, she'll just go back and see if there's any news on from Faevyre.
Okay, so you want to go talk to Roxanne?
Well, actually no, she'll just go wait outside the room and wait for Faevyre to finish, and then once she's done, might go see if she can find anything out from Roxanne about the book.
Okay, gorgeous. You all can feel free to move your tokens around the map and see if you can find what you can find. You should not be able to go anywhere that you're not able to go. So up here would be the quote unquote adjacent room.
Oh, okay. It's like I knew.
As you approach, you do see that the door is shut. Would you like to make a perception check before going in?
Sure. Only a 10.
Only a 10. You don't hear anything inside, and it's to a point where it very much reads as there is likely nothing inside. It would appear that they have moved on, so to say.
Faevyre is gonna try to open the door and check anyway, just in case.
It is open.
And Faevyre's gonna peek in, see that indeed it is empty.
Would you like to take any looks around the room to see if they have left anything behind that might give any sort of insight?
Sure, absolutely.
You can do investigation, or feel free to persuade me as to why a different check would be better.
No, she can investigate. That's totally fine. 11.
Ooh, with an 11, you see on one of the benches there is a little bit of like moss and mushroom left behind. You see one of the seats has an awful lot of glitter and a smear of black makeup along one of the other seats.
Okay. Now, did Faevyre overhear Tonya mention that her creature is psychically linked to her? Or was that out of character?
That was out of character.
But does Faevyre know that just from having traveled with you?
I would say more likely than not, yes, because Iyun stays with me pretty much 24/7, so it would have come up at some point in time that I have a telepathic link with him.
Okay. So Faevyre is going to turn to the owl and point those details out so that that they can report back to Tonya as well.
Duly noted. Tanya's gonna go ahead and relay that information to Dominic.
So is it obvious that Melanee is following Faevyre right now?
I'm not exactly hiding, I'm just waiting here. I was just waiting for you to leave so I can go in and see. Okay. Oh, should be pretty obvious. Wasn't really sneaky.
So Faevyre's gonna look over at Melanee. Well, it looks like the other combatants have left some remains behind, but you're more than welcome to investigate yourself. It's empty otherwise.
So Roxanne isn't in there. Okay, I have to see if I can catch up with her later. Well, that was unfortunate. Would have been good to catch up.
While Faevyre was in there poking around, Shy probably would have grabbed like the moss or something and come running back over to Cillian with it in her mouth, just tail wagging like a little puppy.
Tonya's gonna catch up to Faevyre and go ahead and yoink Ioun.
Now that they're kind of alone, Favor's gonna get close to Tonya into her ear, kind of glancing over at the others, trying to not let them hear. Listen, I know what I am, and I know what you're capable of. There's no way that I could possibly win this competition, but I can certainly make sure that you do over them. She kind of like nods over at the group's direction.
Tonya's kind of gonna lean to the side and like half whisper, do you think the Regent brought me along as the actual champion? You entered this to seek fame and glory. I entered this to make sure that you stay in one piece. Don't worry about whether I win or not. I truly don't care. I'm here for kicks and to keep your head on your shoulders. So long as that is the end result, I truly don't care what happens otherwise. I don't believe in the gods, so there's nothing that I could deign to want from something that doesn't exist. You, however, I can imagine a great many things that you would desire.
Not all of us were born into power like you. A girl can't help herself. I have to start somewhere, don't I?
There's no shame in having goals. I'm here to try and help you achieve them. Don't count yourself out too early, kid.
Touché. Well then. Let me know if there's anything I can do to return the favor then.
Oh, don't worry. You already have going and searching for information for us. Though, that group over there does seem a bit precarious. And Tonya kind of gestures over her shoulder to the group standing kind of not entirely out of eye line, but over here. Yeah, this group over here, kind of on the other side of the statue. Maybe they'll have some information that's more usable if you want to go and see what you can get out of them.
Great minds think alike. They were my next mark.
Gorgeous. I would like to check in with Cillian about this moss and lichen that Shy has brought back to you. Brings back over. You see there's like little flecks of pink and dark green, musky bits of foliage, basically. Did you have anything in mind with that?
Is it anything similar to something I would have seen either in the Sirius Mountains, around Oath, Phelan, or the Palm Groves?
Go ahead and roll me survival or nature, or argue your way into a different role that is better for you.
Survival's fine. A 12.
With a 12. This is a little bit of moss and lichen that is quite similar to the natural foliage that you would have seen along the coast in some places. It is a little bit, I think you would recognize it to be most similar to things that you've seen among the Sirius Mountains. You believe that it is just some natural flora from the northern end of the Menagerie Coast.
Okay. So nothing super special, just
Nope, just
common moss and people.
Yep, just a little bit of common moss that is native to the Menagerie Coast. You do... Remind me your roll. You said 11?
12.
12. Yeah, it's just some common native moss. You do, like, there's a couple of chunks of, like, maybe some hard rock or something scraped off with it, but that's a little trickier to identify.
And is this more like a tree moss, rock moss, or like a corpse moss?
It is probably more corpsey. Something that generally grows where there have previously been burial grounds and things like that. Generally it grows closest to briny water. Reverend Dominic, you're down here in this room. It is appears to be like a dining hall, which has been filled with makeshift cots in preparation for tomorrow's battle. You do see on a couple different tables scattered around the room, they have some like bandages, herbs, and whatnot that are generally used for patching wounds and healing. You see that Sister Genevieve, the woman that came and spoke to you earlier, is just setting up, getting some stuff prepared, laying out more bandages and vessels to fill with water and clean towels, things like that. Do you have anything that you're looking for down here?
I want to squeeze information about previous contests like this. So, sister, okay, how about I help you with these bandages, and we can chit chat.
Oh, thank you so much. You are such a dear. I appreciate it. Really, if you have something else that you need to be doing to prepare for tomorrow or enjoy the festivities in town, I can handle this, but I'm more than thankful for the help if that's what you would rather be doing.
Well, putting things in order is really something I enjoy, isn't it? But I was very curious about previous editions of this contest. Do you have any interesting stories I should be aware of? What about the winners? Very interested in successful cases.
Yeah, so I've been present for the Gods Brawl as an acolyte for 30 years now, I think. We've seen like a lot of different kinds of people come and compete from all over Wildemount and all of Exandria, really. More so local over the last while, of course. But last year we had the victor was a young woman who had come to find some sort of solution for her ailing father. A quite noble cause, if you ask me. And I believe that through Cord's divine will, the Chantress was more than capable of providing that recovery for him. And I actually got to witness the reunification of this young woman with her father, and it was so heartwarming and really just reminded me why we do this, why we hold this ceremony to honor the Storm Lord. He truly is benevolent.
What an inspiring story. I should fit this into one of my courses. That is highly motivating. Would you say she may have resorted to any creative sort of strategies, or did she just play the combat game as it was presented?
Oh, it was a truly riveting battle. She was a young woman, barely out of childhood, when she joined the Brawl, and everybody underestimated her so much because she was just small, she was quiet, she was wielding a trash can lid as a shield, would you believe it? So nobody thought that she had any chance of making it even past the opening moments of the combat. But as soon as everybody got started and she just pulled out of nowhere these awe-inspiring magical works that are unlike anything I've ever seen. rays of pink sparkle that erupted in loud, boisterous echoes, almost as if Cord was striking down himself. Truly blew everybody out of the water and was able to not only ingratiate herself with her teammates so thoroughly that they protected her up until the end. One of them even choosing to expose himself to a trap in order to keep her from getting blasted with fire herself. He jumped in front of her and pushed her out of the way, and that was the moment that allowed her to become victorious.
Oh, it's a glorious story. Although, did you say trap? How did a trap end up being on the battlefield? On the arena?
Have you not been witness through any of the previous years of the Gods Brawl?
I may have been distracted. You know, so many courses, so many fans.
Yes, of course. So we construct the arena with various implements to both help and hinder the combatants every year. It's fully reconstructed every single year, so nobody knows what they're getting themselves into. But we lay out, small traps and also small rewards scattered throughout the arena. There's no way that we can ensure everybody is of the same capability when they begin these battles, of course. So we provide some things that are a leg up, some things that are a bit of a hindrance in order to kind of even the playing field.
That makes sense. Any novelties you might be planning for this year?
Roll me a persuasion check.
With guidance, if that's okay.
Yes, of course.
25.
Oh my goodness, that is wonderful. Her voice gets really, really quiet. She says, well, just between you and me, I would say maybe you should be prepared for a little bit of an acidic wonder in the battlefield this year. I'm quite excited to see.
Ooh, that's such riveting perspective. Thank you for sharing. I won't tell anyone, don't worry.
Of course, lips sealed. And she does the little, presses her finger to her lips and gives a little giggle.
I do exactly the same as her. In a caricaturesque way.
Yes, exactly.
I'll leave you to it. I'll see you to my own leave. Goodbye.
Of course, thank you so much for your help. And she gets back to sorting out her stuff. What do you have going on over here, Melanee? You looking for anything in particular? Have you wandered up this direction yet at all?
I haven't, but I was going to. She's just going to continue looking to see if Roxanne is anywhere nearby, or if she had fully left.
Yes, so I believe you should see her now, or perhaps are just a slight little bit further and you will see her. Yes, you see Roxanne in all of her purple tiefling glory. Oh, I should add her little buddy over there by her. But with her, you also see a young turtle covered in moss, wielding a shield made out of some sort of chitinous material, a scrawny, very pale young man with dark black makeup around his eyes, and a very proper looking young woman in the monk's robes of the Cobalt Soul with a bow stick strapped across her back. They are perusing through here looking at various armor and implements to see what they have at their disposal. And as you walk up, Roxanne speaks up and says, "Oh, Melanee!
Roxanne!
Hi, I was hoping that I was going to see you here. I thought that you might have left already because the door was shut."
No, I mean, look, thought that we aren't on the same team. I was really hoping.
I know, me too. Bummer. Oh, I didn't ever catch you after I spoke to the lady at the bar. So she said that she doesn't know nothing weird or nobody out of place came in last night, or nobody asked about your room other than me. So she kind of like didn't really seem like she wanted to talk to me. She thought I was weird. And that it was weird I was asking about your room and your book and stuff. But she said that nothing has been handed in at the Lost and Found. Like anything like that or whatever. Some people left a jacket or whatever, but not. I looked and none of it looked like anything. I was.
I'm getting really worried. This should not have happened. I don't understand where it's gone.
Well, maybe like. What if it was a ghost?
No. Don't even put that in my head.
But like nobody could have came in the window or like through the door or anything, so obviously they had to have come through the walls, right? And who goes through walls? Ghosts. I bet it was a
I mean,
ghost.
it's possible, but I mean, why would a ghost want a book about herbs?
Maybe they think one of the herbs will bring them back to life or something?
Nothing I found can do that. I mean,
Maybe they read better.
hey. Who knows? Just, I want it back. Well, I'm connecting with you.
Overhearing this conversation, you see the turtle near you slowly like turns his head and says, I am so sorry to interrupt. But I believe, maybe not in your book, but there are herbs that can bring life to those who have lost it. So generally, I would assume at the point of a ghost would not be too open.
Well, yes, they are kind of lacking the body to eat the herb. Well,
And I'm not sure that a ghost would be able to pick up a book.
yes, I suppose. Just vanished in the middle of the night. I don't know where it's gone.
Have you attempted any divination on the book?
Not at the moment. I don't have the ability, and I just haven't found anyone who's been able to ask much. I will when I can, or if I can find someone to.
Well, unfortunately, I would love to help, but I am currently prepared for combat as opposed to seeking new things. However,
Maybe after all this is over.
yes, if you wish to find me at a later time, I'm more than happy to seek answers from Melora.
That would be amazing. If I'm not successful getting out of this, I'll come to you, and that would be so amazing.
Ah, have you joined in hopes of seeking these answers from Cord?
It was the original intention. That, or maybe finding answers that I couldn't find in the book, but since the book's gone missing, it was originally intention to find the book.
He gives a big smile and says, "This sounds quite dear to you, and I feel a noble cause, and I hope that Melora sees you through to the end of this battle." And gives like a polite bow.
Thank you. That's really kind of you.
Faevyre, you're over here scoping out these people. So, this little cluster of people over here, you see two guards from Port Damali. They are accompanying a older woman with neat white hair above her head. She's in very fanciful clothes, looks very money about her. She is accompanied by a young man in white clerical robes with a style that is not terribly familiar to you, and a woman in similar clothes to Sister Genevieve, who you spoke to earlier, but of a much more regal appearance. She has some metal greaves on her arms, etched with lightning bolts, pure white robes with electric blue embroidery, depicting different runes and sigils that relate to Cord. Dark skin with light blonde, almost white hair. Her eyes have a sheen as if her pupil and iris were removed from her eye, and they glow gently as she surveys the area. And they are speaking not loudly but not quietly about the God's Brawl that is to come. How do you approach?
So Faevyre will approach kind of a little quietly, but not trying to sneak up on them, though quiet enough that she's trying to overhear their conversation as she's approaching.
Great. So you hear the clergy woman, for the sake of making this easy, her name is Chantress Dodana, with the pure white eyes. The Marquis Vivian is the older woman with the white hair, and the man in the white clerical robes that are unfamiliar to you is going to be the Princeps Xandrin. And they're all speaking to each other. The Chantress uses a soft tone, and she says, it is an honor to have you join us this year, Princeps Galanodel. I and the city at large are honored to have someone of your esteem from Xhorhas joining us for this event. I'm very excited to be able to host such a wonderful gathering to include all reaches of Wildemount. He kind of casually waves her off and is like, oh, of course, I am more than happy to attend as always. I have been trying so desperately to attend these last few years. Just to put any worry aside, there is absolutely no tension between me and the Regent Runo at this time. I am more than happy to bask in his presence, as it were. And all for the glory of Cord, of course, of course. And the Marquis Vivian speaks up at this and says, well, I am just so happy to hear that and know that there is no sort of tension going on within our borders here. That is a great reassurance. Thank you so much. And at that point is when you approach. Are you also approaching Dominic?
Standing against the statue, looking, sort of just check me out how good looking I am, and I'm staring at the knuckles.
Aren't you just making eyes?
Yeah, making eyes, but just making sure everyone else sees me doing it.
Gorgeous. I love that. Can you roll me a performance check?
Can I try a deception instead?
Yeah. Deception makes sense to me.
All right, guided. That's a 28 deception.
Goodness gracious. With that, you catch the Princeps clock you over the Chantress's shoulder and give you a smirk and a wink. And Faevyre, you approach at this point. You also clock this display.
Just Faevyre rolls her eyes at him and walks over to the very fancy looking people. I'm sure she's picked up a lot of formalities, having spent some time in court now with the regent.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to give her most formal and polite of society curtsy to them.
As you approach, this guard closest to you takes a half a step, not blocking you from approaching, but just like I see that you're here and I'm going to stand right here kind of stance. Just a very I am here and aware of your presence kind of vibe about him as the Marquis and Chantress turn towards you. The Marquis gives a little tilt of her head and she says, "Hello there. Are you one of the combatants to come in the God's Brawl?"
I am indeed. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Faevyre.
And I am the Marquis Vivienne. I can't help but notice the Dwendalian style of your dress. Have you traveled far to come here?
Oh, why, yes, I have. Thank you for noticing. Your attire is beautiful, though I've heard of much talk of your fashion sense.
Well, of course, I have had quite a bit of time to hone my style, of course. And she gives a little giggle, and you see the creases next to her eyes, showing her age only in her eyes. Can I ask how you came to be here with us in Port Damali? Is this a personal trip, or are you accompanying someone?
I have found myself here on vacation. And she kind of gives like a haughty laugh at that.
Mhm.
Like, please forgive me. I have not been introduced to the gentleman that you're with.
Oh, yes, of course. I am so sorry. This is the Princeps Xandrin Galanodel. He is the heir of Xhorhas. Their parents couldn't make it this year, and he takes a step forward and holds out his hand very daintily as if you were going to kiss it, and says, "It is a pleasure to meet someone of such beauty from the Dwendalian Empire. I didn't know that they made them so delicious."
Faevyre does her formal curtsy again and does in fact kiss his hand as he intended. Oh, the pleasure is all mine, and you flatter me, sir. Does Faevyre, has Bruno mentioned this guy before?
Roll me a history check.
16.
With a 16.
I guess because Faevyre's tried to figure out why this guy is talking of tensions and everything, and she overheard Bruno's name, so she's trying to think if Bruno has specifically mentioned this guy before and needing to be concerned about him.
Yes.
She's
So,
suspicious of this guy.
with a 16, I don't think he has mentioned the Princeps by name or even by title. At most, he has probably spoken about the general tension between the Dwendalian Empire and Xhorhas, as they have a long history of war with each other, which has only relatively recently been put on the back burner due to the calamities that have been happening on both sides of the borders. I think he may have spoken in general about the tension between the two empires, and has maybe touched more specifically on meetings with the King and Queen Galanodel, but not really a mention of the Princeps, other than maybe some vibe of calling him a young pup, or doesn't know if they are going to be a suitable person to take the throne in the wake of their parents passing, which does not seem to be happening anytime soon. You haven't heard any rumor of illness or hardship on the King and Queen.
And what was his official title again?
Princeps.
He's a princess. Okay. You flatter me, sir. Though I myself heard of tale of your gorgeous face too. I had no idea though that such a princess existed. And she kind of puts a hand on her face as if she's like blushing.
They give a little chuckle and, well, I'm not sure which of my faces you've heard the most about, but I'm glad to hear that people are talking about it.
I would so love to hear more of you and all of your faces. She gives like a little flirtatious giggle.
Of course, and I can't wait to see how you fare in the combat. I don't know how well equipped someone who seems to only carry an instrument will be in what is to come, but I hope to be pleasantly surprised. At that, the Chantress kind of takes a half step forward, trying to like butt in politely, and says, I believe Faevyre, yes?
Yes, you are correct.
Yes, I am so sorry. How rude of me not to introduce myself. I am the Chantress Dodana Delphi. I am the head cleric of the Temple of Cord. I didn't get a chance to come by and greet the team before they dispersed. It would seem I'm so sorry that I got caught up in these matters of politics. Is there anything that I can do for you or your team to help you in what is to come?
Well, we thought it polite to meet the other team. And here I am, missing them, it seems. Though I am not sad for the company that I'm keeping currently, that she smiles graciously over at the two.
I have some wonderful news for you. I do believe I saw them heading north into the armory. If you were hoping to get acquainted with them, I do think that is a quite noble idea. But if you'll excuse us, I'm so sorry. I do have to escort the Marquis and Princess to a meeting elsewhere. If you'll excuse us, please. And she begins she curtsies back and begins to usher the two political figures off in another direction. Dominic, while you are watching this exchange, I would like some sort of a check to notice stuff. We can call it religion or perception, insight, something along those lines.
Let's do insight.
Gorgeous.
No, that's guidance. I can't guidance myself. This is passive, right?
No, you can guidance.
So that'll be a 12.
Okay, with a 12, I think you clock that the princess carries themselves in a way that reads devout. You have a vibe of some sort of religious affiliation here, but can't quite clock what domain there would be there. You think you catch like a glint of silver from a holy symbol, but they turn away too fast for you to catch what it is, as they are all going off to exit this chamber.
Okay. Well, as they're leaving, I'll approach Faevyre. That was very competent. I'm impressed by how well you mingle. I think we're gonna work together well. And now I'm not bullshitting about anything, I'm just playing serious.
He looks over at you, kind of looking you up and down. Well, you told me you needed my assistance, so I followed suit. It seems as the party that we're seeking is to the north. She kind of glances her head in that direction and nods over there.
How about I escort you there, my lady, and I offer you my arm?
She takes her arm. By all means.
Right. Let's make sure you get guidance for everything you roll.
Cute. Hey, Tonya, you've been hanging out up here in the armory. What are you got going on?
So I've been here for a minute. I overheard the conversation between Melanee and her tiefling friend.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm going to approach the turtle person and be like, so Donatello, what's your shtick?
Pardon me?
Sorry, was my question not clear enough? What is it that you do exactly? And can I roll for insight to kind of gauge like what, like, I don't want to metagame and say outright like what class, but like, is he having gear on him? Are they wearing a holy symbol? Just kind of get a better general vibe check.
I will give you this for free without a roll because Cobel here wears his faith on his sleeve, as it were. He is not wearing armor. It is a bit hard to when you have such a armored shell already. But he does have a mace and a shield that seems to be made out of some sort of bug armor skin, and has a very blatant symbol of Melora crafted into the face of his shield. Operating as a holy symbol, he is a cleric. You do also note the various lichen and moss across his shell, pointing as well to Melora.
Gotcha, I see. Then I guess my line of questioning at that point would go to the rest of their group aside from the tiefling. Like, because there were 2 other team members here whenever I answered. I'm gonna mention that and be like, so where'd your friends go?
My friends? You mean my other teammate?
Precisely.
Yes. Well, Alluvia, he lifts a finger and points over at the lady in the blue cobalt soul robes with the bow staff on her back. She's examining a weapons rack and scoffing as if this is bullshit, basically. Alluvia, I believe, is an expositor for the cobalt soul. This young man over there gestures to the guy in the dark makeup. Is strange. He eludes me. And you see him just kind of like looking or pretending to look at a weapons rack, but is just kind of standing there staring off into space. As for the 5th member of our team, we unfortunately were not able to meet today. It would...
I assumed it was the penguin.
No, I believe the penguin is a companion of Roxanne. To some regard. I believe the mishap with our 5th companion involves some sort of imprisonment.
Interesting. Tonya's gonna turn her direction, or like turn her attention to the guy in dark makeup and kind of snarky. So My Chemical Romance, what's your deal?
Roll me an intimidation check.
19.
You see that as you speak, it sort of breaks whatever sort of catatonic state he had as he drops something quickly, grabs it, shoves it up under his sleeves, and turns to you. Yes? Sorry, what? Yes? Yes? You need something from me?
So I'm going to kind of just eye him up and down and say, first of all, I saw you shove that into your sleeve. I hope you intend on making some kind of donation for it. Far be it from me to snitch or uphold the rules. I don't particularly care. However, I imagine the various levels of security around here would care. Just a little friendly warning from one combatant to another. But I would like to know, what's your deal? What's your shtick?
I don't know what you're talking about. I have not taken anything from here. I have no use for gives a little like dismissive hand gesture towards the weapons rack for any type of steel in my craft. So no, nothing like that. Anything that you may or may not have seen was entirely of my own business and has nothing to do with the temple as a whole or any form of weaponry whatsoever.
Really? And what is your craft?
How astute of you to ask, he says as he like shifts his eyes around, and then he goes, I am, gives a little hand wave that like poofs some little magic sparks, little black glitters. Aha! You see, poof. Be astounded. Jazz hands.
Neat party trick, and I'm going to kind of point my gauntlet toward the ceiling and squeeze my thumb, firing a warning shot into the ceiling. But as you can see, I've taken 3rd grade chemistry myself. So would you care to elaborate, or do I need to let the temple guards know about the little donation you made to yourself?
I can assure you that, no, nothing that I have done requires any form of donation. I have simply been perusing and thinking to myself and have not touched anything that does not belong to me.
Gotcha, then what's that in your sleeve?
There's nothing up my sleeve. He like goes and like very magician-esque rolls his sleeves up. No, see, there is nothing up my sleeves at all whatsoever. And you can go ahead and make a perception check or an insight check.
Alright, let's see what we've got here. Oh, that's a 10 with my bonus. That's stinky.
Even with a 10 perception, this guy's sleight of hand is not great. You see like the vague outline of a book shoved up his sleeve. Very small picture, like pocket constitution type size of a book.
I'm going to just point this fact out that I see the outline of the book, and basically, look, I see it, you see it, we both know that you're not as good at sleight of hand as you think you are. How about you just tell me what's up so we don't have to start this fight prematurely and we can actually brawl tomorrow as intended.
As you say that, shadows overtake his face, his eyes grow dark, and his voice drops several octaves as he says, and then blinks, face goes back to normal, and he says, look, there's no need to get hasty here, just simply look, there's just, okay, stop, look. And he pulls the book out of his sleeves. It's a tiny little black, like, little teeny tiny black book, leather cover. It's just my spell book. I'm a wizard, haha, see, just little sparks again. Just a wizard, spell book. It's supposed to be very precious, you know, don't let anybody take it. And he, like, as he's saying that, shoving it back in his sleeve. Really bad for me if it goes missing. So just, like, it's okay, I promise. Everything's fine. I'm Niche Destin. You can call me Nick. It's chill. We're good. He, like, puts up his hands very, like, everything's okay.
I kind of take a half step forward and like gently like pat his cheek, like, see, was that so hard? I just wanted to know what was going on, what your shtick was. Now I know, now I can be on my way. I can talk to my friends, you can hang out with you and your weird alternate personality there that seems to have his testicles. And we can all go about our day. Now, am I curious about that octave drop and what the contents of that book actually are? Oh, 100%. However, I have a feeling that I'll find out tomorrow one way or another, and I go to walk away.
What's your passive perception? Actually, anybody that's in this room, what is your passive perception?
Mine is 13.
15.
Are we there yet?
Yeah, you guys have made your way over here.
15 for Cillian.
14.
Gorgeous. Cillian and Melanee, you said 15?
Yeah.
Okay, both of you hear as Tonya walks away. Maybe let's hear more smell iron and hear a very faint tearing of skin coming from this young man. And then he quickly clutches his book to himself and hurries away from the temple.
Well, that's interesting.
Tonya is going to go ahead and reconvene with the rest of the group.
Roxanne looks over at you, Melanee, and is like, ooh, that was tense. What is up with your friend?
What's up with your friend? That was odd.
It's kind of rude to like ask people about their like private stuff, you know? Like it was just a book. Like everybody's got stuff. Like I mean, do you know how many people ask me every day like who's your dad and like why do you have horns? And it's just, you know, it's just kind of rude.
I mean, some people just have no tact.
Yeah, that's, I guess, yeah. I don't know, it just seems, yeah, I think he's fine. He seemed fine. Anyway, that guy, he didn't really talk, though. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he's weird. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. And she, like, goes back to looking over the different armor, seeing if she can find something to put on, something Gunter size in the armor.
Okay. Mel just pulls out a piece of dried fish and kind of just holds it out for Gunter.
And he chomps it up, gobbles it.
See you, buddy. Just outside back to the group.
While you're standing there feeding Gunther, you feel a little head butt against the back of your ankle and look down and see that Shy has shown up looking for more scratches.
How dare you feed one familiar and not the other?
He immediately tries to scoop him up.
Oh, Shy will fully let you.
Just held them like a baby does head scratches while heading back to the group.
Gorgeous. So as you guys reconvene, we are about 10 minutes from the end of our session. So let's go ahead and wrap here and we can pick up next week with any additional preparations for the Gods Brawl, maybe some festival activities, and see if we can't head into the Brawl. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, and we can't wait to see you again next week.